Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Pete.
I've been thinking, this episode?
Yeah.
The
Brazil one?
The Brazil one, yeah. You know there's a fair amount of drinking of alcohol in it?
Yeah, a lot of drunkenness.
I was wondering if we should probably warn people before they listen, just in case they didn't want to hear that kind of thing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, so what should we say?
Well, we'll just tell them that there was drinking and drunkenness in it.
Okay.
And that if they're a bit sensitive to that, maybe skip this episode and we'll see them again in a week or so.
Okay, yeah, we'll say that.
Okay.
Should you say it or shall I?
Why don't you do it?
Well, you've sort of said it now, haven't you?
Yeah, I guess so. We'll just use this.
All right.
Okay. Enjoy the show.
Thanks. History happened everywhere. A random place, a random time, and a topic pulled from the hat. The challenge, one of us goes away to find out all they can before coming back and revealing all to the other. You're listening to... History happened everywhere. Hello, I'm Pete Goddard and you're listening to History Happened Everywhere. I'm here in the studio with my good friend Ryan, the Rye Bear Weir. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm okay, man. Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited for today.
Yeah?
I always say that, but like this week in particular. I'm really excited.
All right. How did you think of the Rye Bear thing? Is that going to stick? Can we go with that?
Yeah. Not rhino?
Not Rhino. No, I wanted to go something different.
Okay.
Your beard is looking very nice today, by the way.
Well, thank you very much.
I was thinking today about swapping body parts with people.
Okay.
And I was wondering, beard is what I would pick. If I was to select a body part from you and take it for my own, I would have your beard.
Of all my body parts,
all
you
your
would
body
have my
parts.
beard.
I'm familiar with many, if not all, of your body parts.
And yet the beard is still the thing
I'm
you
still
would go
going for
for
the beard, although I did think of a side order of the liver just in case this one packs up on.
Oh, I wasn't thinking internally. You're right.
So externally, I was wondering what you would take of mine.
I would go with height.
Height.
Can I take that?
Yeah, you can take height. Why not?
Okay, I'll take height.
Anyway, let's get that beard flapping and get to work understanding this week's topics. Should we have a quick run back and see what we were selected from the Durs later?
Okay, that's a good idea. Shall I hit the button?
Hit the button, Ryan.
All right, I'm hitting the button. Here we go. Okay, and the country is...
Well, Ryan, how big do you like your countries?
Bigger than a France.
Bigger than a France. Well,
Yeah.
I've got good news for you, sir. Your country, sir, is Brazil.
Yay, that sounds awesome.
All right.
Brazil. All right, let's... I'm happy with Brazil. That's
All
good.
right. Well, it's all about the time period then, isn't it?
Okay, let's hit the time period.
Okay.
Yeah.
How modern do you like your time periods, Ryan?
Ooh, I like... I don't want them in the 20s or the 30s. I feel like I've done lots of 20s and 30s.
You've done a lot of that. And
40s as well.
Really, even 40s,
I've done 20s,
yeah.
30s and 40s. Those are,
Okay.
so I don't want any of that.
All right. No problem. I can present you, sir, 1950
Are you kidding me?
to 1960.
For real?
You're a hipster, man. You can go from rock and roll straight into hippie land.
I'm just going to work my way through the 1900s. That's fine. Okay, Brazil, 1950 to 1960. Okay, and you're going to
Probably
want
want a nice broad topic, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's hit the topic.
All right.
And the topic is... Oh, no.
The topic, sir, is fashion.
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 Oh, this sounds okay. In the 50s to 60s?
Right. There's a lot going on, I think. I think this
Brazil.
is actually a riper than it might at first appear.
There you go.
There it is.
How about that?
And now you're excited, you're primed, you're prepped, you're looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I am. So this was one that I think both of us, just listening to it there, were like, yeah, actually, that makes sense. This is like, often the Durs later will give us things that we're like, I don't even know where that is, or there is no way that I'm going to be able to pull that out of the bag. But this one, this felt like there would be a lot of stuff to talk about, and we were right.
Excellent.
My goodness, the research this week has been thorough.
Okay, do I need to pack a sandwich or something for this long trek, or have you boiled it down to the absolute glorious essence?
Yeah, I mean, bring a sandwich if you like. But normally we start with location. Where are we? All that sort of stuff. Yeah. But to get us in the spirit of things, we're going to start a little bit differently. And we're going to start with cachaça.
Ooh.
Okay, so the cachaça is a liquor. It's made from sugarcane juice, like white rum. It's used in a variety of different cocktails, and it is hugely popular in Brazil. So we're going to be sampling some of that now, and it's the first thing that we're going to do to set ourselves in the mood and get ourselves worked up.
An aperitif,
An aperitif, indeed. Yeah, it's interesting because they produce 15 billion litres of it every year, of which only 1% gets exported.
To the Brazilian expat community, presumably.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, and to us, a tiny little drop in the ocean.
Oh, let's try it. This is exciting. Okay, he's going into a box.
Normally it takes a while for us to do some sort of activity-based
Yeah, we've gone
thing,
straight in.
But we're not messing around.
I like it. It's a big box. How much of this stuff you got?
A big bottle of cachaça. Okay, so yeah, let's open it up.
All right.
I've got a couple of shot glasses.
All right, open with shots. This is going to be a fast and loose episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Is it a cork? Oh, I love a cork.
Okay, here's yours.
Thank you very much.
Here we go. Let's just drink. Cheers to you, my friend.
All right.
Ah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's lively on the palate.
So we're talking about Brazil. Brazil is officially the federative.
It's fast acting, isn't it, this stuff?
Cachaça. Right, let's start. Brazil. Officially the Federative Republic of Brazil.
Federative.
Yeah. It's the world's 5th largest country. It's pretty big, right?
That is massive.
Yeah, it is the largest in South America and Latin America by far. It covers 47% of the continent's land area. So how many Frances in Brazil specifically?
I think there's probably like 10.
Oh, that's interesting. It's 13.2 Frances.
Oh, I wasn't far off there.
No, you weren't. No, 8.5 million square kilometres, 3.2 million square miles for those that do miles. You've got the Atlantic Ocean on the east. And that's still it's still kicking through. I'm getting kicked back. Okay, so you've got the Atlantic Ocean on the east, and then the coastline runs around about 4,600 miles. And inland, it borders all the other countries in South America except Ecuador and Chile. It also has a land border with France. So
with France?
Yeah.
French Guiana?
Correct. Yeah, French Guiana. Technically an overseas department of France.
Oh, really?
Not a country. Oh. So, yeah, French Guiana, which is just slightly north of where Brazil is, it borders Brazil, and so hence a land border with France.
Unexpected.
It is home to the Amazon Basin.
It's one of my favourite basins.
It is the largest tropical rainforest in the world. It covers 5.5 million square kilometres, which is 8.5 Frances, and it is home to 40,000 plant species, 1,300 bird species, 3,000 types of fish, 430 types of mammals, and only 2.5 million different insects. It is called a rainforest, but within the forest, you don't get a lot of rain, not really. The canopy is so thick that it actually keeps the forest floor almost in darkness, and it takes 10 minutes from the rain to hit the leaves for it to then start to drip through.
Wow, that's a heck of an umbrella.
Brazil, like America, is made up of different states and a federal district. We were talking about this during the USA one. Yep. Brasilia is the capital city. Sao Paulo, the most popular city. You've probably heard of Rio de Janeiro.
I have.
Yeah, that's a state and a city, like New York.
Oh, right. So good they named it twice.
So 211 million people in Brazil. A lot of people.
For the space, though, is that? I was just trying to figure it out.
No. When you think there's, 320 million in America?
Yeah.
They talk Portuguese. It's the only country in the Americas that talks Portuguese.
Sim.
Hola.
Such an exotic language.
Yeah. Right. Whew. I'm still withering from that drink. So let's talk cocktails. This is before we get into the next bit. Normally we talk about history.
We do normally.
But before we do that,
this is a diversion I'm totally behind.
Yeah. So before we do that, let's talk cocktails.
All right.
Because the 1950s, which we're going to get to the timeline in a minute, they are perceived to be the height of the cocktail age.
Ah.
All right, globally, not just within Brazil as well. Cocktail hour, cocktail parties. You've probably heard of those things. They're like an integral part of social life at this time. Women are buying cocktail dresses. Bars and clubs, they're offering new varieties of different types of drinks to get people in.
I'm thinking of Mad Men, where everyone's just drinking basically all the time.
I want a Manhattan.
Exactly.
Give me a screwdriver. Exactly. Yeah. Appetite for cocktails is at a high. And we're in Brazil, so we're going to have cocktails too.
Yay!
Right, and there's a game associated with this.
You've gone just straight out with the excitement, haven't you?
Yes.
Holy cramoly, there's a tray of all sorts of
for cocktail stuff.
palaver.
We've got, right, there are 6 cocktails that are available to us. 6 Brazilian cocktails. These are classic Brazilian cocktails. And we have here, what is this?
It's like a die.
It is a die. So we're going to roll the die, and you can roll it as many times as you like before I finish this episode. And you need to get all 6 of these cocktails.
Right.
Now, the chances are, if you roll it and you could just get 1 6 times in a row, we're going to end up with just whatever number 1 is on the cocktail list again and again and again, right? If you get all 6 and you have all 6 cocktails, you win a prize.
Oh, I love a prize.
If you don't get all 6 by the time I've finished, you get a different kind of prize. Okay? Them the rules.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Non-specific and terrifying. That's a number 5.
Right. Rabo de galo. Do you know what that means?
Do it one more time.
Rabo de galo.
Something of the... don't know.
I thought you were going to get it.
For a moment, I suddenly thought I spoke Portuguese, but I just then remembered that I absolutely don't.
You got off there. Yeah, it means tail of the rooster. Clever play on words.
Yes. Because it's
Tail
a cocktail.
cocktail, right? Cocktail. Tail of the rooster.
like
That's what it means. Rabo de galo. It's funny. Right, this is a recipe that requires cachaça.
Hey!
Bum, bum, ba-dum. Cachaça. Red vermouth and cynar, which is
cynar?
artichoke liquor.
Well, I mean, who doesn't have
So let me
artichoke liquor?
let me just reach into this giant box of booze I have by the side. I have a bottle of cynar.
Cynar it's got a little picture of an artichoke on the front. That is, it's a dark bottle. It looks like a bottle of red wine at first glance.
All right, I'm going to make some rabo de galo.
Okay,
Let's play some music.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. And I'm back. Okay, we have 2 rabo de galos.
Bodigalo.
Recipe for those following along at home. 60 milliliters of cachaça, 15 milliliters of red vermouth, 15 milliliters of cynar, the artichoke liquor. We stirred it with ice, and we decorated it with a lovely slice of orange zest. Is that what you'd say?
I would
Peter?
say what I have here is a lovely tumbler with a kind of an amber liquid. It's got some ice cubes and a little bit of orange zest. As described, it looks very much like a tumbler of whiskey with a bit of orange juice orange zest in it. But
Right, let's crack
see
on.
how it tastes. Cheers.
Right, cheers. Oh, it's not. All right.
So you've diluted the booze with additional booze is what I'm getting from this.
Brazilian cocktails.
Wow.
Right.
These guys don't muck about, do they?
No.
And that's why, it's just occurred to me, that's why cachaça is one of those words that you can keep saying however drunk you are. Cachaça.
So the name of the game, remember, Peter, we've got to drink this
Right.
before you can roll the next dice.
Okay, so I have to
that's
finish
the
it
trick.
before I get another roll, but then I can roll at any time? You're not going to prompt me to roll?
No, you can
Right.
say, you can just stop me and say, it's roll the dice time.
Gotcha.
All right, but you have to use the words, it's roll,
It's roll the dice time.
Yeah, you
I'm
might
going to
wanna
write that down.
Okay.
Because it seems easy now. But in 5 drinks time. Oh, what's the key word?
All right, and you've got to get all 6.
Right.
Okay.
Which implies I'm going to have... Yeah. Okay. The
At
maths
least
is
6
not in my favour here.
So, timeline.
Right.
9000 BC. Guess who's there?
Is it early man?
It's early man. 6000 BC, earliest pottery is discovered. So 8,000 years ago. More recently, pretty much 500 years ago, the Portuguese arrive. That might not have
They
surprised
have a
you.
habit of doing in they
crazy.
really got out there for a small nation. I mean, I guess it's the same for the UK, isn't it? They I don't know whether we've just accidentally, disproportionately come across them, but they certainly have been quite vivid in our previous episodes. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, 1822. The son of the Portuguese king says, you know what? I'm miles away from my dad. I want to be the top dog. So he declares independence from Portugal. So he cuts off ties with his dad and crowns himself Peter I, Emperor of Brazil.
I could get behind this guy. I'm with him.
Just because his name's Peter.
Obviously.
Yeah. 1888, so about 60 years later, slavery is abolished and European immigrants start to flood into Brazil. 1889, the monarchy is overthrown, and this is the start of a fashion towards towards new leadership.
Neatly crowbarred.
Thanks, man. So the Federal Republic is started at this point, 1889. In 1902, Brazil produces 65% of the world's coffee at that point. World's coffee.
Substantial amount of coffee.
It really is, yeah. 1930s, Getúlio Vargas. He leads a coup, rules as dictator with the military's backing. 1939, Brazil declares itself neutral in World War II and then says, actually, we're going to join the Allies in 1943. And in 1945, Getúlio Vargas, who we just talked about, who started the coup, he's now ousted in a military coup of his own, of a different one. So this is what I mean. This is fashion of new leaders, and a new constitution returns the power to the people, back to the states. Which takes...
After a military coup. That's unusual. Normally the military coup happens, and then the military say, do you know who would be good at running this place?
Right.
The military.
Exactly. This is
It
Let's
is,
not
I
roll
agree.
5 again.
I'll do what I can.
Okay. That brings us to the 50s, so let's talk about the 50s. Post-World War II boom is happening. We're seeing like this period of economic and human growth. There's babies being born all over the place to make up for those, I guess, that died during the Second World War.
Some degree of immigration from Germany?
Yeah, there is a bit of that as well. It becomes known as the Golden Age of Capitalism.
All right.
Yeah, this is not just within
Across the
Brazil,
world.
this is across within the world, yeah. So this is a decade where we see the start of the Cold War, the civil rights movements in the US, North Korea invades South Korea. You might have heard of that, starting the Korean War. Queen Elizabeth II takes the throne. Elvis Presley records his first song, Heartbreak Hotel. And the Russians get Sputnik into space and make it the first manned object in orbit. It's also a decade where in 1950, chickens were exploding in Germany. Any idea why?
I'm going to guess it's because they were so excited at the Beatlemania.
Beatlemania.
Not sure where that came from.
No,
that was
I
the
don't
60s anyway. A decade out.
No, the chickens were eating bits of discarded carbide, which had been left behind by the Allies. And that was mixing with the water in their stomachs and creating a gas that then caused them to explode. So farmers were reporting their chickens running around on the floor and then just exploding into feathers. 1955 in the USA, Gertrude Dorman is fined $51 for setting her hotel bed on fire. The judge was unconvinced by her story that it was on fire when I got in it, which was her defense.
Well, I mean, they can't prove it wasn't, but I can see there's a balance of probability question there.
So that's that decade. In Brazil, though, this decade, 1951, Getúlio Vargas, who we talked about, remember he was ousted?
Yes.
He's re-elected.
Oh, he's made a strong
re-elected
comeback.
president. Yeah, but 3 years later, 1954, the military says, "You know what? We're going to give you a choice here. You can either resign or be overthrown." And so, what does he do?
Not a lot of choice, I would have said.
No, what does he do?
He's gone for resign.
No, he kills himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't tell me what to do. I guess that's one final 2 fingers up, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So, continuing the trend for new leadership, President Kubitschek, he steps in. And this economic growth just suddenly happens. Whether he was good or whether he just walked in at a great time, who knows? But
post-war years were sort of boom time for everyone, weren't they?
Yeah. So he decides during this time that he's also going to move the capital of Brazil to Brasilia, the capital city. And he builds a city based on one straight line where there was like a central core spine where you'd get a train from one end to the other and be able to access everything through that way, rather than a normal city, which would have like a core and then everybody grows concentric rings around that.
So just clarify a couple of things for me there. So
Please.
Brasilia did not exist at all before, and he went, "I'm going to invent it," or there was a place called Brasilia, and he
It
was
did
like,
not
"This is
exist, and
now-"
he invented it, and they built the city.
Oh, right.
But yeah, they built a brand new city, and they wanted it to be entirely different and get rid of the old colonial days, have new buildings. This is a period of restructuring, getting rid of the past, looking forward to the future.
Like Milton Keynes.
Like Milton Keynes. Just as an idea, though, building a city on a straight line, it's not the first time that's happened. It's unusual. There are a couple of other instances, but it's actually happening again today. In 2030, there is a project in Saudi Arabia called The Line, where there will be a 170-kilometer long city that will be built. Everything will be within sort of 5 minutes of a central spine, a train, an underground train, the speedy trains that will take you from end to end throughout that line, wherever you need to go, to sort of different compartments along the line.
That's very sci-fi, isn't it?
All the shops and everything, commercial bits, will be underground as well. So you'll just have, like, above ground, there'll be no roads. It'll all just be parks and houses and stuff for 170 kilometers in one line. And then underneath it, you've got this weird Westworld style network of roads and trains. And
so I have a theory about that.
Go on.
I have a theory, and that theory is that stuff will grow around it organically and it will fail to be a line.
Just like in Brasilia, which is exactly what happened.
Oh, really?
It got too big, and so they just started to continue to build around it anyway. And so it still has the line, and you can live on it, but that's not where most people live. Anyway, let's move on. 1960, Quadros becomes president.
I love Quadros.
It's a new one, but then he resigns several months later. It's just it's
had
an amazing period.
A taster job I didn't like it.
It's
this
amazing.
Isn't for me. You don't get I mean, I've had many jobs where I've had a period in which it's like, well, a few months later you get...
It's not for me.
It's not really working out. So I suppose being president could be one of them.
Yeah, I had a guy who turned up at work once. He worked for, I think, 3 or 4 hours and then went for lunch, didn't come back, and had left a note just saying, I'm gone, I'm not coming back. And that was it. So I'm kind of hoping this guy did the same. Anyway, so Quadros, he's resigned, and there's this constitutional crisis, and João Goulart, he takes over. That's where we are in 1960, which is where our time period stops.
All right.
So let's hear
quite a lot of upheaval.
Yeah, it's a lot of upheaval, within that sort of 10, 20 years previous. Let's hear the National Anthem.
All right.
This was composed in 1822, or 1823, or 1831. Depending on which article you read on the internet.
I believe all of those dates.
I'm drinking while this is happening. Otherwise, I'll never get a chance to catch up.
You got to really take big slugs of it because it's like, gotta get it down.
All right. What do you think?
I enjoyed it. It was, for me, it put me in mind of a late 60s sitcom.
That's oddly specific, but okay, fine. It is an era of unprecedented climate of optimism, it says on the internet.
That's, in fairness to that tune, it was also one of a climate of optimism.
It does give you a sense of optimism, doesn't it?
Well, if you compare it to ours, which is dreary dirge.
Tourism is booming, and that brings with it a lot of European sort of influence. And there's new forms of music and film that are starting to appear almost simultaneously. How you doing with that drink?
It's going all right.
I'm about to start a new one.
A new section or a new drink?
No, a new section.
Well, that seems like a good time for a roll of the die.
Yay! 5 was not good.
It's a 1. It's a 1, everyone. It's okay.
Number 1. Caipirinha!
Caipirinha!
Caipirinha, it's Brazil's national cocktail.
Nice.
This originated in the early 1900s as an antidote to the Spanish flu.
Well,
Get Spanish
give
flu?
it a go.
Why not have a cocktail?
I mean, it's all upside, really, isn't it? Yeah. Does it work? Don't care.
All right, let's hit that music and I'll make us a caipirinha.
Let's do it.
To caipirinha.
Caipirinha. This. Do you want to do the instructions and I'll tell him what it looks like?
If you're following along at home, the recipe is 1/2 cup and 2 tablespoons of cachaça, 1 quartered lime, muddled, 2 teaspoons of caster sugar, and 2 cups of crushed ice. Put them in a little tumbler, mix them up, stir it well, get it down your neck.
Let's give it a go.
Oh, God, that's like 100 times better than the last one we had.
Yeah, that's nice. It's got sort of a limey bite through, but a bit of a sugary sweetness to it. And
I feel fresh.
Whereas the previous drink, I felt like I was slapped in the face with all my failures in life.
All right, should we carry on?
Let's do it.
All right, what did we get to? Oh, yeah. So Brazil had a pretty active film industry up till 1950, and including 1950, in fact after. So pretty much it's got an active
All the
film
time.
industry. They were making films that were either big budget epics, serious cinema, in quotes, which were thought of at the time as ridiculously pretentious,
Right.
or cheap comedic musicals known as chanchada, which means trash or filth or trick. It was super popular with the low income, the chanchadas, and we're just going to talk about that for a second. So stars were made from chanchada films, right? These were so popular. You got stars like, you'll know him, Oscarito,
I love Oscarito.
Right?
Little Oscar.
Brazil's most loved comedian, and Grande Otelo.
Big Othello.
Yeah, a tiny black man. A little bit of racism in there. He was often sort of like, not coming off well against Oscarito. But then you also had Dercy Goncalves.
Dursley's calves.
Not Dursley, Dercy.
Dursey. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Dercy Goncalves, who she was only 1.5 meters high, 4'9".
Yeah, okay, that's pretty small.
Anyway, she went on to she holds the Guinness World Record for longest career as an actress. 85 years.
Wow.
She was an actress for. So you've not heard of Oscarito, you've not heard of Grand Otelo, you've not heard of Dercy Goncalves. Have you heard of Carmen Miranda?
I have. Fruit on a red.
Her of the fruit hat. Yeah, that's her. She got her start in chanchada films, Allo Allo Brazil and Allo Allo Carnaval, both popular films, caught the attention of Hollywood, and off she went. They're reminiscent of Benny Hill, Carry On films. In England, you might be familiar with those, but with more dance. It's like a Carry On film with dance.
Rare is the film that couldn't be improved with a dance number every now and then.
For sure, you got end on a song. Often erotic. They avoided the censorship issues, though, like that other films had. They could be a little bit more risque because they didn't criticize the government. And so they were allowed to get away with a little bit more. Also, I think they were quite popular and making lots of money. So they sort of left them alone. They were filmed in Sao Paulo, in an area that became known as Boca de Luxo, or Garbage Mouth. Mouth of the garbage. Which I love. Anyway, so late 1950s come along, and student filmmakers, being students as they are, they're influenced by more subversive films than chanchada films. Specifically, in this case, those coming out of Europe. So the French New Wave, exactly. And they start protesting the chanchadas and saying, hey, this is rubbish compared to what the French are making. We should be making more meaningful content. There's better things we can be doing with our time. And so they start making those films of their own. But with this time, with like a more of an emphasis on politics.
Well, I thought we'd established that you can be as sexy as you like as long as you don't criticise the government.
Yes, but they wanted to start criticising the government.
That's going to inhibit their sexy time.
Yeah, there's a lot less sexy time. In fact, they start setting their films in poor fishing villages, in urban slums. They start telling sort of more dramatic stories rather than things that they're not ending on a song. There's no comic.
Fewer bald men being slapped on the head.
Indeed, yeah. And each of the directors, they start showcasing their own like unique styles, individual taste, personal politics. In fact, they're encouraged to do so. They have like this total freedom of expression. They all start producing films in this manner. It becomes what is described as a more legitimate, truthful, and direct correspondence between the filmmaker and the world in which he lives. So by the end of the 1950s, this wave of filmmaking becomes known as Cinema Novo, new cinema. And it continues on throughout the 60s and 70s and is very popular, influencing filmmakers even to today.
That's interesting. That's because it's not famous, though, is it? Even, like, the French New Wave is famous enough that even I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But the Brazilian
Cinema Novo
has passed me by.
Should we talk about music?
Let's talk about music.
All right. Bossa Nova. Heard of Bossa Nova?
My primary knowledge and awareness of Bossa Nova is that it was one of the presets on a Bontempi electric organ that in the late 1980s or similar was the must-have personal electric organ.
Well, Bossa Nova, it literally means new trend. So we're talking about later on in the decade. It doesn't appear until sort of the late 1950s, and we meet composer Antonio Carlos Jobim and guitarist João Gilberto. And these two get together and they start to develop a new sound together, just from a combination of soft samba, traditional Brazilian music, influences of American jazz, and Portuguese lyrics. And so they can sort of combine these things together. They're sitting in their bars, playing on their guitars and singing along, and they create this new form of music called Bossa Nova. And it came to sort of represent the feeling in the area, that sort of youthful culture that was growing at that time. You know, like we were talking about the youthful films that were being made, there's a sensual pleasure.
I have to say, I'm getting a sensation of Brazil at this time being very much a very modern place, really moving with the times.
Really trying to move with the time, trying to create the times. Taking influences from different places and making it its own thing, trying to form its own identity. So, usually performed on guitar with piano. Sometimes it does have other percussion and strings as well. Rio de Janeiro, it's its natural home. There is a nightclub there called the Bottles Bar. It's like the most famous venue for Bossa Nova at its time. And it was discovered in that club by an American music executive who was on holiday in Rio at the time. And it went on to define much of the music for the next decade. You think of the 1960s, there's lots of movies that use Bossa Nova, there's lots of, the charts are full of it. In fact, the girl from Ipanema, which you've probably heard of.
I have.
Sing me a little.
Tall, I don't know the word, so I'm going to just guess on the word. Tall and sharp and small and handsome and dum 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 dum. The girl from Ipanema goes by. Da 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 da.
Any more?
Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
Girl from Ipanema, she's in my...
She's like, oh, can you get me a caipirinha?
While you're in the kitchen. Yeah, that one is... it's the second most played song from the 20th century.
No way.
Yeah. Just behind what song? What was number one?
I'm going to go with Happy Birthday.
Nope.
I'm going to go with Help by the Beatles.
Oh, you're right with the Beatles. It's Yesterday by the Beatles.
Ah.
It becomes a signature sound of Brazil, basically. You listen to it now, you're like, totally Brazilian. Let's have a listen to a little sample now.
Se você insiste em classificar.
That was Desfinado.
Chega de saudade, a realidade é que sem ele não.
That was Chega da Saudade. That was Coisa Melinda.
I really enjoyed those, Ryan, and as I was enjoying them, I was sipping at my drink, and then I thought, oh gosh, I've finished this drink. I'd better roll the dice again.
Please not 5.
It's not a 5, thank God. Basically, I roll this going, please not a 5, anything else is fine. It's a number 3.
Okay, let's do a number 3, shall we? This number 3 is Caju Amigo. I've been looking forward to making this one, so I'm pleased that you rolled it.
Good. You're welcome.
Caju Amigo, what does that mean?
Something about your friend, house of your friend.
Yeah, friendly cashew. Caju Amigo.
Oh, okay.
It's literally friendly cashew. It combines 2 of Brazil's most favourite national flavours.
Friendship and cashews.
No, cashew fruit juice and
cachaça.
yeah, there's always cachaça.
There's always cachaça.
Cachaça and cashew. That's literally it. We just take 1 part cachaça, 1 part...
Cashew's a nut though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, no, it's like an apple.
Oh, it's a weird little nut on the end of an apple, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah. And so this is the fruit juice. So
the cashew fruity part is also a thing you can have.
It's also a fruit juice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, although in this instance, it's a concentrate.
Obviously.
Can you give me your shot glass, please? All right, this one's the easiest one to make. Half and half. That's it.
Half and half.
So if you're sitting at home and you've got your cashew juice and you've got your cachaça, half and half. Fill it. Get a shot glass.
I would argue that if you're at home and you had both cashew juice and cachaça, you're already Brazilian.
All right, here we go. All right, what does that look like to you?
That looks like pineapple juice, actually.
Right.
Together. That looks amazing.
All right. I feel like I really should have learned what the cheers is. Well, that's fine. We'll just ask people. People will tell us.
Okay, people.
I haven't finished my drink. I've got to finish my cupparino.
Oh, you got to catch up, mate. Come on. I know you're doing literally all the talking whilst I'm sitting here drinking and listening and learning.
I've finished it.
That went down really delightfully.
God. Right, here we go.
Cheers, mate.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Is
This
it a
is-
shot? Are we downing it like a shot or are we...
No, I don't think so.
No, this is just a drink, right? Because it's
Yeah.
a 50-50.
I don't think we should be doing many more shots.
Oh, clearly not.
Caju amigo.
Casual amigo.
Caju amigo. Oh, that's... I don't know what that is. It's smooth. It's really smooth.
I'm not sure what to make of that. It's kind of not... There's no strong flavour that I would identify to it. It didn't punch me in the face like the cachaça did.
No, because it's smooth. It takes the edge off it.
Yeah.
It's a little
but
bit
it doesn't
sweet.
add a lot
It's
of
not
flavour. It
sweet.
wasn't super sweet, was it? It was just sort of leavened it out a bit.
Why does it remind me of libraries? Is it the smell of old books?
No, that's all right. We can sip on that.
Okay.
All right. So we just Bossa Nova'd.
Now we're going to talk about football. So, we're talking fashion in 1950s in Brazil, right? Well, let's talk about football. It's one of the most recognizable symbols of Brazilian identity. What do you think it might be?
Brazil top.
The Brazil shirt, that's right. The jersey worn by the national soccer team.
My friends and I have a theory that
You have friends?
some people I used to know, and I have a theory, and that was that any female lady woman person
Yeah.
wearing a Brazil football top immediately became 20% more attractive.
Yeah.
And a similar situation with an Italy football top would make you 15% more attractive.
But not 20%.
Not 20%. Brazil
Okay.
20, Italy 15.
Cashew is a weird flavour, by the way.
There's no flavour to it. It doesn't taste of anything.
It does the closer you get to the bottom of the glass.
Does it?
Yeah. It's got a weird kickback. Right, let's talk about... This is going to get harder, by the way, for me telling this stuff. So I am going to apologise to all of our listeners.
This is going to be the worst podcast ever for the people listening. And yet, ironically, the best ever for the people casting.
High five. Yeah, right. So, yes, the yellow shirt with green trim, blue shorts with white stripe, white socks. That's the kit. That's what you wear if you're a Brazilian footballer. Yeah, it's probably like the most iconic shirt in sport, I would say. Think of a more iconic shirt. I dare thee. Thing is, the yellow makes it look joyful. All right,
Absolutely.
You look at it and you think of some of the greater footballing players. Can you name a good, like one of the greats?
Yeah, I can. Now, I can't.
You don't do football.
Before I start this, people need to understand the degree to which I don't know football.
Yeah. Name me some famous Brazilian footballers over the years.
Socrates.
Number 2 on my list, yeah.
Fat Ronaldo.
Yeah, number 3 on my list. The one with the haircuts.
And I know he's number 1. Obviously, he's number 1.
Yeah.
Pele.
It is Pele, yeah. Yeah. Number 4? Come on. You can do this.
Right, hang on. Wait. So I've done Socrates,
Yeah.
Pele.
I love that Socrates was first.
Because I like philosophers.
You like the Greeks. Ronaldinho.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put him on my list.
Romario.
He's not one of the originals, right?
What about Neymar? He's playing now.
Well, yeah, I don't know the ones who play now.
Well, Neymar, but famous. Anyway, okay. Carlos Alberto, captain of the 1970 World Cup winning side, said, "For Brazilians, the yellow jersey is sacred. When we wear it, we feel pride, but also responsibility. A responsibility to inspire and to excite." Isn't that the words of a captain?
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing. Let's have a drink to, what was his name? Carlos Alberto.
Carlos Alberto.
All right, Carlos Alberto.
Because the thing about Brazil is,
Yeah.
I've watched international football, and in international football, I tend to follow England due to the fact that that's where I live.
Yeah.
And you get beaten by the French, and it's disappointing, and you get beaten by the Germans, it's disappointing. You get beaten by the Brazilians, you're like, yeah, fair enough.
Well, that's understandable.
You feel good about it because you're like, you know
fine.
what? They are passionate about their football.
Yeah.
It means so much to them, and they're a long way away, so I don't care so much.
That territory thing kicking in again. Anyway, so let's talk about the shirt, because this is about fashion. This isn't about booze.
The shirt's great. It is iconic. It
No,
genuinely is.
I'm
iconic.
talking about the shirt, not you.
Okay, carry on. Trying to help you through this.
All right, let's talk about the shirt.
Don't make me roll the die again.
Please don't.
I can't know the thing. You've actually set a trap for yourself here. I could keep going.
The story of the shirt dates back to the 1950 World Cup, it says here.
Right. Come on, Ryan. Hold it together. You can do
All
this.
right, I'm going to do it. So, let me take you back in time.
All right.
Brazil are playing Uruguay in the final. We've done an episode on Uruguay.
Right?
Go back and listen to Pete's episode on Uruguay. It's very good. Unlike other World Cups, where it's like a knockout competition. You beat a team, you go forward, they go out. The 1950 winner was determined by like a group stage, right? Which is unusual. They don't really do that these days. But the final 4 teams play in like a round robin format, and instead of like
Oh, so a group stage at the end. So we do have the group stages now.
but that's at the beginning rather than at the end.
okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, Brazil were topping the group, okay? They're just 1 point ahead of Uruguay. Uruguay needed to win. Brazil, they just can't lose, right? If they lose, they're out. Uruguay needed to win. You're drinking that way quicker than I am. All right. You right there? You adding ice to that?
Just chilling it up a bit, because I should have stirred it through some more, because the cachaça and the juice helped each other, but individually less good. It was more than the sum of its parts. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Right. We're talking about Brazil versus Uruguay.
Yes.
The World Cup final.
1 point separating them.
Right, 1 point separating. Brazil are in the lead. Also, Brazil are playing at home. They're playing in the Estádio de Maracana in Rio de Janeiro. Right? This is their stadium, their home stadium. 200,000 people are in the stadium, right? Let me just put that into perspective. Wembley Stadium is the largest capacity stadium in the United Kingdom. It houses 90,000 people, right? There is a lot of people in the Estádio de Maracana. Brazil are wearing their traditional kit, which is white shirts with a blue collar, white shorts, and white socks. And typically, they take the lead shortly after half-time. Half-time, boom, goal. Brazil are in the lead. They're winning. They're going to win the World Cup. This is amazing. Everything's going great. Only Uruguay equalise. Bang, goal. Oh no, it's equal now. 1-1. Brazil just needs to hang on, okay? We haven't got long. Let's just hang in there, say Brazil. Only 11 minutes to go. Uruguay striker Alcides Gigia. He runs down the right side of the field. He takes a low shot. Bang! Straight under the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. No. It's 2-1 to Uruguay. Only 11 minutes left. Gigia, he peels away to the right and he celebrates. He's like, yes, I scored against Brazil in the World Cup final.
Sounds like a direct quote.
Yeah.
That's what I'd have said.
And he stops and he listens. Puts his hand to his ear and he listens. And he realizes that the whole stadium is quiet. And he says, and this is his quote, 3 people have silenced the Maracana. Frank Sinatra, the Pope, and me. Right? And so the final whistle blows. Uruguay are crowned world champions. And the Uruguay team, they're running around, they're celebrating, they're like, woo, we won the World Cup. We're literally the best in the world. And the rest of the stadium is, and it's described as disturbing and traumatic absolute silence. Not just absolute silence, but disturbing and traumatic. And that goes on to prove it, because the aftermath is just awful, right? Newspapers and fans, they go, nope, never happened. Don't know what you're talking about. We totally won. Literally, they just don't accept the defeat. They just refuse it. Sadly, other fans commit suicide. Some players never play for Brazil again. And the gold medals that they already had printed, well, not printed, but made for the Brazilians, they just discard them. No one's ever seen them ever since. They just got rid of them. They didn't want them. They're gone. Gold medals, gone. And as part of this aftermath, the white kit that they were wearing, totally unpatriotic. Don't ever wear that white kit again. We don't want to ever even see it again. You have ruined our lives, said Brazil to the Brazilian players.
Cremoli.
Right? It was seriously bad, right? They were really, really upset. And so no one wants to wear the shirt, right? No one's buying the shirt, no one's wearing the shirt. And so like this pressure starts to begin to grow to change it. And so in 1953, there is this competition which is set out by a newspaper called Correio da Manhã to design a new kit. And they say, you know what? We don't want white. We don't want any white. And so they use the four colours of the Brazilian flag.
Right.
What are the four colours?
Gold, blue, white,
Yeah.
trim, and but not for anything big.
And green. Do you know what the yellow stands for?
The sun.
No. Wealth. The gold that everyone thought.
Oh, I
was
started with
in
gold. I can't believe I blew that.
Yeah. You did say gold as well. What does the blue represent?
The beautiful blue skies over Rio de Janeiro.
No, it means the globe. It's like the sea, I guess. Green?
The fertile crescents of the Amazon basin.
Yeah, the forest, yeah. And what about the white?
Tiny reminder of that god-awful final where we lost against
Tiny
Uruguay.
No, the white, it represents the stars on the flag. And there are 27 stars on the Brazilian flag to this day. Just like the American flag, what do the stars represent?
The States.
Exactly. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Nice. Well, I've drunk this drink.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's roll the die time.
All right. What's the thing? What number?
Astonishingly, and I'll be honest with you, I'm delighted
Please
by
don't
this.
tell me it's 5.
It's number 2.
Oh, seriously? Have you got...
I've not swizzed this at all.
I feel like you've
Remember how
swizzed
you
this.
thought I swizzed 11 cracker pulls in a row? And I hadn't.
But I do feel like you're rigging this because
No.
I should be checking.
Honestly, I've been rolling straight. You know me, man. I don't cheat.
Okay. All right, number 2, yeah?
It was a 2. It was a 2 and it was
All right.
always a 2.
Number 2 is capeta.
Capeta.
Capeta. It means devil in Portuguese.
I'm excited.
It's from the north of Brazil, and it's drunk Carnival time.
Woo!
That's Mexican.
Mexican.
Yeah. All right, let's make the capeta.
All right.
So, Pete, you rolled a number 2, which
I
was
did.
the capeta. The recipe for this, if you're following along at home, is half a cup of ice, 3 tablespoons of 3 tablespoons of condensed milk, sweetened if you can find it. 1 tablespoon,
Tablespoon,
Oh.
right.
1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of honey. Did you do a tablespoon? Could you help me on this one?
Cinnamon, honey, and condensed milk. This is a sweet drink.
Yeah, and guarana, which is a tropical berry in the Amazon, and it's known to be energizing, like caffeine.
So yeah, I helped you. I put the cinnamon in, and
We chose not to add cocoa powder. You can choose cocoa powder, but Pete said, I don't want that.
there was a selection of very sweet things, and I thought additional cocoa was probably not necessarily. So what we're looking at, it looks like a frappuccino.
Yeah, it's like one of those drinks you get at the movies, a slushie.
Oh yeah, it's a big slushy frappuccino.
Anyway.
You'd pay £8 for this in Starbucks.
Hey, cheers, man.
Cheers, buddy. All right, let's give it a go. Here we go.
We've got straws. Yeah, nothing comes up my straw. Oh my God, that's sweet.
Reusable. Ah, that is so sweet.
It's delicious.
Oh my, it's like drinking custard.
That's really good, though.
I kind of like it.
The cinnamon kick is strong. No, I like that. That's good. How many more have you got left on the die?
Well, I've done 4, and I've astonishingly not repeated any numbers yet.
I know, that's amazing.
Odds of me continuing that are obviously diminishing, because that's the way odds work.
And we've got 2 bits left.
Yeah.
What are the next ones? What haven't you got?
4 I don't think we've had, and 6 we haven't had.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got to get 4 and 6
Yeah.
in your next 2 rolls,
Yeah.
in the next 2 sections. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, feel free to stop me anytime you want. Remember, there is a prize. Anyway, right. Rio de Janeiro. It's one of the smallest states in Brazil.
Oh, really?
But during the 1950s, it's becoming like this modern metropolis. There's 2.5 million people living there, which is, I guess, a lot. It's got a coastline, because it's on the eastern side, and it's the 3rd longest in the country. It has long stretches of these white sandy beaches, most famous of which you may have heard of. Can you name it?
Is it Ipanema Beach?
No.
Is it another beach?
Yeah. Copacabana.
At the Copacabana.
She wore flowers in her hair.
And a dress cut down to there.
Yeah, that one. Copacabana. It's 2.5 miles long. And it was, at the time, it became like, funnily enough, a trendy, youthful area to sort of hang out. Grab a tan, have a drink, chat with some mates. Copacabana. I like this drink.
This is way too much for me.
Right, on the beachfront is a hotel called the Copacabana Palace. You heard of it?
No.
It was used in 1933 as the location for the movie Flying Down to Rio, starring Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. And it attracted not just regular tourists, but also international celebrities, including French models, who brought with them what?
Can I guess a serious guess?
Yeah,
The bikini.
that's amazing. Good guess.
I know my history of bikinis.
That's right. The bikini. It's a 2-piece swimsuit. Did you know that?
I'm aware of what a bikini is, yes, I'm
Okay.
very much.
It has triangles of material. This is for people who don't know.
Okay,
There are
yes,
people who
so
don't know
please
what
explain what a bikini
is.
might be.
All right, well, it has 2 triangles for the breasticles. 2 larger triangles for the under-esticles.
The underesticles. I might start using that as a word.
The nether
How's your
regions.
underesticles?
Right. Did you know, fun fact, did you know that the bikini goes back as far as 5,600 BC?
Is that when Raquel Welch wore it with the dinosaurs?
Yeah. In the film?
10,000 years BC.
Yeah.
Which arguably makes my point entirely irrelevant.
But in reality, in truth, depictions of women wearing bikini-like garments goes back to the Roman era. There are sort of lovely little, what are they called, those little stones? Where you put,
Mosaics.
Thank you. Yeah. With women or men, it didn't say, wearing
Bikinis.
like garments. But the bikini we know today this is a disaster, this episode.
It's fine. It's fine. Edit this out. Edit this out. Go back to
This
it.
is a disaster. Right.
You wait. You got 2 more drinks to come, mate.
Mine's frozen to the glass. You put way too much ice in this.
I followed the instructions.
There's not half a
Mine's
cup
out.
of ice in here.
Ryan, it's roll the dice time. So you better suck that bad boy down
I'm sucking it.
and hope that this. Do you want to witness this? Because I know you're worried about fraud.
Yeah, no, we've only got 2 left. And it was 4 and a 6, so go for it. Roll.
Okay.
I'm checking this time.
Oh, it's a 1 again.
Caparena!
Hey! I mean, I feel it's a loss, but a win at the same
Yeah,
time.
Caparena's good. All right, let's make a Caparena. All right,
All right.
we have the Caparena.
Caipirinha. This is I suspect this will be better than your last one because you've had some practice.
All right, cheers, man. All right, Caparena. That's good.
Of all the repeat numbers to run, that was my absolute favourite.
That's a good one, right?
I'm happy with that.
All right. I have left my notes the other side of the room.
You've got to wing it from here on in.
All right, I can do that.
So something about a hat.
So what do you want to know? So what do you want to know?
Go get your notes.
We were talking bikinis. I can remember bikinis. What do you want to know?
Well, you were, in fairness, you were struggling to even describe bikinis, so I think you really need your
they're
notes.
2 pieces. Nether regions. Remember?
Yep, I remember all of that. Triangles galore.
There was a lot of triangles. Right. I need to get my notes.
Go get your notes.
Yeah.
I think you just have to just put the whole thing out unedited and say, this is what
Two-parter.
happened. This is what happened. We're sorry, not sorry.
Every 27th episode from now on, it needs to be a booze
Number
fest.
27th. Sorry, guys. This is how this is going. Please don't tune in. This is for us.
Right. Where did we get to? Bikinis.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking bikinis, weren't we? This is good stuff. You'll like this. All right. Okay, so we talked about bikinis in history. And we were talking about how like they existed in Roman times and stuff.
Yes.
But not officially bikinis. Like no one called them bikinis then.
Correct.
Right. Well, they would be called bikinis now. Not now. Well, they are now, but like then. Brazil time.
Yes. Was there a sort
Invented
of
in
monokini
1946.
That was a like being.
Yeah, it's like a one-piece swimsuit.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is like the buy of bikini, like a bicycle. There's a unicycle, right, and a bicycle. There's
You're overthinking this.
Oculars and
No,
binoculars.
you're overthinking this.
Okay.
That is not why they're called bikinis.
Okay.
They're not even called bikinis. They're called bikinis.
Okay.
And they're called bikinis because of the Bikini Atoll,
Tell me more.
which is where the nuclear bombs went off.
Which kind of bomb?
The nuclear. I'm changing it so I can't get shouted at. I'm changing it completely. It's not nuclear and it's not nuclear. It's nuclear. All right. Well, that's a grade taken off.
With atomic. Stick with atomic.
All right. So the bikini as we know it today was invented in 1946 by the French engineers Louis Riard and Jacques Haim.
It required two people to invent the bikini.
Yeah, one for each
Segment.
triangle. Yeah, it was created in part due to the rationing of material during the Second World War. There wasn't a lot of material, so they went, you know what, well, let's make a swimsuit that's made of less material because we can't get a lot of it.
I'll be honest, it doesn't feel like it required an engineer. I'm fairly confident I could invent the bikini given the sufficient restrictions and imperative. If you said you've got to
they
go
did
swimming and this is the material you've got to cover up your bits, I would invent the bikini almost certainly. I don't think a 4-year degree is a necessary requirement for this.
It's true. Anyway, so it was named after the Bikini Atoll, and they wanted it to be as explosive as the bomb
Right.
that they were naming it after. Anyway, it was pretty controversial. So controversial, in fact, that the Vatican, where the Pope lives, they said it was a sin to wear it. Don't wear it. It's a sin. God does not like you wearing the bikini.
Yeah, God hates those bodies he created.
Yeah. Also, kind of like, what are those leaves? They were like a bikini. You know, that Adam and Eve wore.
Yeah, the old figs, the old fig
Fig
fellas.
leaves,
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, there were like loads of debates on the radio because TV wasn't a thing then. Whole countries said, you know what, this is illegal. We are not allowing a bikini. Imagine that. In this day and age, can you imagine any countries that would not allow a bikini?
Well, it's just free the nipple all over again, isn't it?
But it doesn't stop its popularity. People still wear the bikini.
Well, I think those two things go hand in glove, don't they? If it wasn't popular, no one would need to legislate against it. It would simply be something nobody was interested in.
And boy, are people interested in the bikini. Yeah. Bridget Bardo, you heard of her?
I have.
Rita Hayworth, Ava Gardner,
I'm aware of all these people.
famous models, actresses. They wore the bikini on beaches, like at the Cannes Film Festival and stuff. And that gathered a lot of press. People were like, hey, check these ladies out wearing almost nothing on the beach. That's kind of cool and naughty. And so bikinis got like a bit of a reputation.
That was back then. No one would pay money to see someone just wearing their underwear or similar today, would they?
All right. Right. So I've lost my place. Right. All right. Anyway, so like because of those celebrities, right? Rita Gardner, Ava Bardo. Who are we talking about? Right. So
Ginger
there was
snaps.
like, look, the point is, a bunch of celebrities were wearing a
Bikinis.
bikini, right? And it was causing a bit of a fuss. And like some people were upset by it. Other people were like, oh, that looks kind of cool. That makes a lot of sense. And, it did. And it just spread around the world. The bikini, people were wearing bikinis all over the shop. And then by 1956, people were wearing bikinis in Brazil on the beach. Like, hey, I'm wearing a bikini. Problem? Question mark?
Was there a problem?
A little bit, but not much. In fact, it was less of a problem because they actually started to just adjust the bikini to their own needs. But like they found the bikini super comfortable, right? It's just tiny little bits of triangle material, right? Who wouldn't want to wear that? It's easy to wear. You just slip it on. It's easy to mix and match with whatever else you've got.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than like a big one-piece swimsuit. Hey, do you like tanning? A bikini. Perfect. Like your whole body is on show for the sun apart from little triangles. Do you want to go? Do you want to go to the bathroom? The bikini is really easy to take off, and you go to the washroom.
Ah, yes, of course. You don't have to get it from the shoulders on down.
Imagine if you had like a one piece, right? And it's more flattering.
It's as flattering as the things you have to offer, I would suggest.
Indeed. Anyway, so the Brazilians, who are keen beach goers, decide that they're going to adapt the design because it's not even nearly enough
Modest for them, really.
modest. Yeah. So they create the Brazilian bikini.
Ooh.
What does the Brazilian bikini look like, Peter?
I don't know. If you ask me the
If
question
you don't
of
know,
what's a Brazilian like, it suggests a sort of very high cut to me.
Well, that's exactly what it is. They cut the lower half higher, so there's less material in the lower half of those triangles. Just because I didn't know if you'd know, Peter, I created a little
infographic.
a little album here that I'm going to pass to you.
Okay.
These are Brazilian bikinis. Just scroll.
Okay.
Just scroll
Crikey.
to the right.
So what I'm seeing is it's like if you imagine a French cami knicker and then cut half of that away,
Right.
and then from the front, it's like imagine you had a triangle of material, and then somebody said, "I'm going to need 50% of that material back."
Right.
But here's a shoelace. Then it's getting narrower and narrower. So it's more shoelace and less handkerchief, shall we say, as we go. Yep, the shoelace is definitely taking over. Well, for descriptive purposes,
Yeah.
none of it looks super comfortable, but I have been told it is comfortable. There's a lot of
Sure.
things going very much between the cheeks.
So there you go. That is the Brazilian bikini. It leaves a little to the imagination, wouldn't you say so? It also had another side effect
What's that, Ryan?
of a fashion for hair removal.
I think I see where this is going. Well, I'll tell you what, though. It's roll the dice time.
Okay, I need to drink mine quicker.
I didn't really finish this myself.
Oh, I finished.
4 or 6.
That means you've got to roll this twice in the next section. It's a caipirinha.
Oh, my God. Right.
Okay, we've had another caipirinha.
Right, here it is.
Here it is. You've got it in front of you. Enjoy your third caipirinha.
Oh, well, honestly,
You still need 2 more.
it's very mixed emotions because on the one hand, I'm disappointed I didn't get the new drink that I haven't got, which is a 4 or a 6. But literally, of all the ones we've already had, this is the one I'm prepared to keep drinking more
Well,
of. So
Good
I
news,
think
right?
it's the best losing option that I have.
Well, drink it quick because you've only got a little bit left of the episode.
I'm on it. Right, so we've established that the bikinis
We're talking about bikini.
bikinis were embraced by the Brazilians, and they
Made their own. The Brazilian bikini.
took it a step further, and that resulted in some movements.
Problem is when you're producing a bikini which goes even higher, you're displaying more skin. So the human has how many hair follicles?
2.5 million.
The human has 5 million hair follicles. So what do those hair follicles do?
They grow hairs.
Yeah, but what do they do? What does hair do on your body?
Number of things.
Why
They,
do you grow hair on your body?
They react to things. They trap pheromones. They
Yeah.
conceal baldness.
They regulate body temperature.
Sort
They
of things
protect
on your
from
skin.
outside elements,
Yeah.
like dirt.
Yeah.
Right, stop dirt getting in.
And they, look stylish and slick.
In ancient Greece, in Rome, in Egypt, in early Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Persia, people are removing all of their body hair. Now, it could be because it's just the hot temperature. It's just, from a health perspective. Certainly, we know that in Egypt, they were using a type of sugar and lemon juice that they would apply to themselves. And that was known as sugaring. It's still popular today.
I was going to say that's still a thing, isn't it?
Sugaring is still a thing, yeah. If you can buy it on Amazon as a means to remove hair from your body. It's a sign of civilization and class, the Romans saw it. Wealthy men and women in the Roman era, the Roman Empire, they would get together and they would remove their hair with tweezers and all sorts of tinctures and potions. What is interesting to me is that Charles Darwin appeared and he wrote a book. Do you know what his book was?
On bikini waxing. He was very ahead of his time, as we know.
Personal grooming. No, you wrote a book called Descent of Man, and that was in 1871. And in that book, he theorized that...
The scent of man was related to how well he shaved.
Well, kind of. Natural selection he talked about.
Right.
And he said that Homo sapiens, related to apes, had become that way. They were less hairy than apes because they had found less hairy mates more sexually attractive. And so, because of the success of his theory and his book, there were... Oh, I lost my place.
It's okay.
I'm good now.
All right. So what did he say in The Descent of Man, Ryan?
He said that, right, Homo sapiens, right, had evolved less hair because they had found apes less attractive. And so natural selection meant that less hairy was more attractive. And so at the time, people took that to be, I should have less hair on my body. And so from that period, 1871 on and onwards, there became like this accelerated plan of, I'm going to remove hair from my body. By the early 1900s, you've got the upper middle white women across the Western world that were associating smooth skin with being desirable. So you start to see it within fashion, hemlines starting to rise on skirts. Nylons through the war effort meant that bare legs meant that they needed to be shaved. Gillette started producing razors for men that women also took on board. So there was like a thrust towards nicidity, the removal of hair.
So there is an interesting gender aspect to this, though, isn't there? Which is still ongoing, I would argue. But there is a sense that hair is not feminine and is masculine in some ways. So women shave their legs and shave just all sorts of parts of their body that men don't, like underarms and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And yet also men shave their faces. Mm. There's a politics to hair that is very complex and quite interesting, I think.
Right.
Because there is also, I think there's so many dimensions to it. There's the civilizedness, right? So a wild man is always portrayed as this long, out of control hair, big out of control beard. Yeah. Like sort of the control of one's own body is in many ways manifested through the medium of hair. Just a thought.
I like that thought. Anyway, so fashion has changed. In the 1950s, Playboy was the first magazine to feature hairless women. What do you think about that? Clean-shaven models being used in softcore pornography.
So I've quite complex views on this, which is hair, to me, hair is a natural part of a human body, right? Mm-hmm. I don't really like the fully shaven look because it brings to mind, obviously, prepubescence.
Right. But
equally, it's not that simple because there was just enormous practical aspects to all of that as well.
Sure.
It's not really the podcast for this discussion. But I think the thing that is most problematic for me is that there is a sense that hair is in some way disgusting, which it clearly isn't.
Hey, I brought snacks.
Well, let's see what you got.
I brought snacks. Right. So we have little Brazilian snacks here.
What you got?
Little snacky, crispy things. Biscuity. No, not biscuits. They're like, I don't know what they are. Do I try those? And then there's little balls.
Right.
I forget what they're called.
Are these? I'm going to try one of these balls. Do you want a ball?
Yeah.
Have a Brazil ball.
Okay.
They all look totally different, though.
They're sweet, those balls.
Yeah, but no two of them are the same.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Explain these balls to me, right?
Okay, you've got a chocolate one, you've got a vanilla one, you've got a caramel one, and a something other one.
But what are they?
I don't remember.
Right.
Hello. This is the voice of the internet. Ryan has forgotten that the ball-shaped confectionery is called Brigadiros. They are a bite-sized chocolate sweet that some people say are bonbons and others truffles, but they are really closer to balls made of fudge. Traditionally, Brigadiros are made of sweet condensed milk, chocolate powder, eggs and butter. Thank you.
Let's open the crisps, come on.
Right, so this is a torcida. It's a costelinha con limão, which suggests a lemon. No, it's a lime.
Oh, they're quite good. They're like pillows of beef.
Beef pillows.
Imagine sleeping on a pillow of beef.
Oh my God. I can't remember what we were talking about. More alarmingly.
Bikinis.
Well, yeah, but that was ages ago.
I know, we're still talking about. You got to say the words.
It's roll the dice time. I've lost the dice. I've got the
can
dice.
you?
I found
It's
the
like
dice.
yellow.
It's fine. Found the dice.
Okay.
Yes! It's a 4.
Is it really?
It genuinely is.
Let me see.
I'll be honest with you.
Oh, that is a 4.
No, I need an adjudicator though, because there's like a little nugget in the middle that makes it look like a 5 that's been filled in. That is a 5. Yes.
All right.
Come on. That was spectacularly unlikely.
I know.
I suppose 1 in 6 chance, right?
Oh, exactly. Right, number 4. That is Leite de Onça. It's milk of the jaguar. You've only got one left of these. I'm a bit scared that you might actually win this competition.
That would be, brilliant for me.
Yeah, but not great for me.
But I'm fairly drunk already, so God knows how
right.
we end this.
I'm going to make some Leite de Onça.
All right, get on it. Right, so this is number 5, right? No,
Well,
number 4.
No, don't say number 4. Right,
Number 4.
Number 4 is Leite de Onça, which translates as jaguar milk. In the recipe, if you're following along at home still,
You're still with us. Thank you. Side note.
1 part cachaça, 1 part Baileys, half a part condensed milk, 1 part whole milk, and ice. And that's it. That's your lot. Right, cheers.
It looks nice. It
Yeah,
looks
man.
like a
It's
milk.
it's a cheersy drink. It's like a milkshake. It's nice. It's like sexy milk. Have you ever had sexy milk? That's what it would taste like.
Not sure what you're asking me. But carry on. So, where were we, Ryan?
Well, we were talking about taking off hair.
Hair. Oh, yeah, the politics of hair, which is a
Yeah,
complex subject, actually.
So, in Brazil, the Brazilian Bikini appears. And it's closer to the buttocks, which means that you've got to get a lot more hair removed.
I would have to say it was the pictures you showed me, that was inside the buttocks, really. It was
Yeah.
between and embedded in the
No,
buttocks.
that's exactly right. It's the legs, it's the pelvis, which you would describe as the pubic area, the area between the anus and the pubic area.
As sexy as that sounds.
What's the area called? Anyway, in Brazil, they produce the bikini. They're wearing the bikini and they decide they don't want to wear the bikini. They want to wear the Brazilian bikini, which is less bikini than the bikini.
Right.
Right. That's where we got to. Now, what that meant is that waxing kicked in. Now, why would you wax rather than shave? Well, waxing, it takes longer. Oh my goodness. It's so much longer than just shaving. Like, grab a razor and just shave the hair off. But no, when you wax, oh my goodness, it's so much smoother. I've lost my place.
Feels a lot like an advert at the moment. I'm like, oh my God, should I be waxing?
So bikini wax is introduced.
Come on, Ryan, you can do this. Bring it home. Come on.
Okay. So bikini wax is... All right. And so bikini waxing becomes a thing. And women are making their own choice whether they want to shave or whether they want to wax. And it's a thing. How'd you feel about that?
I feel fine about it.
Good, because we're at the end of the podcast. There you go.
Is that the end of the podcast?
Yeah.
That's not the end of the podcast.
Are you saying that because you've still got one drink?
It's roll the dice time.
It's roll the dice. Roll the dice quick before I finish.
All right, here we go. The final roll of the podcast. If this is a 6, I win. It's a 1 again. It's Cachaça Caipirinhas all round.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Rye.
Hey, man. So you didn't win the competition.
I did not win the competition at all. I
that's a
got
shame, isn't it?
I got super close. In fairness, the odds was massively against me, and I got to a place where I was in a 1 in 6 chance of winning, and I did not win.
Didn't win, did you?
No, sir.
So I guess you lost the other prize. You won the other prize.
What? Yeah, I won the other prize. What's the other prize, Ryan?
I think you know what it is. I think you know what it is.
Go on.
No, I think you know what it is. What do you think it is?
Well, if I know you at all, you're going to say I've got a waxing kit here.
Yes, exactly right. We're going to do a Brazilian waxing.
Oh my good lord!
So you got to take
Entirely-
your shoes and your trousers off. Let's go. Come
Right,
on.
okay. What
Let's
am
do
I
it.
waxing exactly?
Take your shoes and your trousers off and let's go.
Right, okay, fine.
Removal of public.
Public hair.
Oh my god.
That's the problem, right? The public
Removal
hair.
of pubic hair using a special wax, which can be hot or cold. Oh my god! It adheres to the hairs, not the skin, and it pulls them out. Mm-hmm.
For the record, Ron and I now sat around the table and both of us are trouserless. Side note, both of us still have socks on.
but also our pants.
Yeah,
Can we
well,
just
yeah,
at least
obviously,
stress
yes.
our
Also, we
pants
also
on?
have our pants on.
right.
Ryan has got the kind of pants a man who knew he might be in this situation
I'm
is
hiking them
in,
up.
whereas my pants are a lot more
Yeah.
did not expect this kind of pants.
You know the ending of our podcast.
Yes.
We're going to do this through the ending of our podcast.
Righto.
All right. So I'm going to give you a bunch of strips.
I might have a couple.
Yeah, no,
Get 'em
there's
going,
quite
right?
a few. But first of all, we need to give you what your topic, time, and place is going to be.
Yeah, let's
for
do
the
that before we do this. That's a very good
Yeah.
idea.
Okay, are you ready? I'm going to hit the button.
Yes.
All right. Okay. The next episode of History Happened Everywhere. The country is Singapore.
Singapore. Okay. Ooh, interesting.
Do you want to know the time?
I do.
All right, let's hit the time. And your time is the Persian Empire.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's 550 BC to 330 BC.
Very not
Which
modern,
is
isn't
the Persian Empire.
Persian Empire.
Oh man! And do you want to know what the topic is?
It's almost irrelevant at this point, but all
Let's
right,
hit
go
the
on.
button.
Go on. It's like space.
All right.
Craziness.
And the topic is
Green faces. Eyes. What is it?
discovery.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's okay actually. So Singapore, Persian Empire, discovery.
Discovery.
That's kind of cool.
All right, I'm into it.
All right. All right, we
so
need to
how's
wash
this
ourselves. So you wash yourself with these wipes. We
wash?
both need to wash and dry ourselves with
All
the
right,
wipe.
okay, yeah, all right.
Wherever you want to do it. I want to do it
What am I
here.
doing? I'm doing this whole area.
Yeah.
I'm going in. I'm going
Straight
full. I'm
into
going
the-
in, right?
I mean,
Like,
if you're going to do this,
if you're
right?
going to do, all right,
Yeah.
I'm not just going to do a little knee area. I'm going to do a whole.
We're doing the bikini, right?
We're doing our bikini area.
Seriously, wash and dry the area.
I'm very
It's
unsettled
what it
by
says.
this entire experience.
All right,
I'm very close to Ryan whilst
Rubbing yourself.
rubbing clean.
Right,
clean-
slowly peel the parts. All right, wait, we should let it dry.
Right.
Do you want a drink while you wait?
Yeah, go on.
No, what do you want? You got to
Wait.
roll it.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. This is a 6. I'll be furious. It's a...
Is it a 5?
It's a 6!
It really is a 6.
One time previously, and I wouldn't be waxing my genital area. Die. Thanks a goddamn lot.
Okay, right.
Oh my God.
So I'm right.
Because that was as unlikely as getting a 6 the last time.
Yeah. Down, rub down. Stop. Can you hide that?
Everything's
Can you
sticking.
please hide that? I don't want to look at it. Just
I can't hide it. It's a part of me, Ryan.
okay. Well, Pete's gone for it, so
I
we
didn't
should
know
do
what
it
to
quickly.
do. It
We
was
should do
very
it quickly.
complicated.
Oh no! Hold the tab.
Yeah.
Hold the skin taut.
How can I hold the skin taut?
This is what women get up to
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Pull the strip back as
Yeah.
fast as you can. It's in
Right.
bold letters here
Yeah.
and in capitals. In Monster Movie, you've got to start reading.
All right, that's fine. Okay, that's our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you'd like to get in touch with any of the things we talked about in this episode, we can be found on our Twitter account, which is at HHE Podcast, or you can email us at HHE. Oh my Christ! Rate and review the show. It helps us and helps others discover the show. Oh my shit! Oh, it's stuck! Oh, that's not good. Oh, none of those things are good.
Okay. In the discussions about the show on Facebook and Reddit, what did we say? It helps us and others. Meantime, you can find what?
What? What's that? In the meantime, where were we?
Oh my God, we've got so many
You can
more.
find and join the discussions about the show
Oh
on
my
Facebook
God.
and Reddit.
This is
so
your
make
fault.
sure to subscribe to those who, as well as Twitter, Instagram, and oh my God, that one really hurt. Oh my God, that was much worse than the last one.
Is it bleeding?
I've got a lot of blood. So anyway, review the show. Thank you for listening. If you've got this far, then you are a hero.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God, look at all the blood. And all that leaves to say is...
You've been listening to...
History happened everywhere. That was fine. All right, well done.